There we go. All right. So what class are you here for?
It's English 101.
101?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. What was your assignment about?
What's that?
What was your assignment?
It's like we have to analysis.
Like analyze
Yeah.
a reading? Okay.
Yeah,
What did you read?
It's a long article about like it's people make us stupid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to analyze this article.
Okay, perfect. So,
What's the structure?
okay, very cool. I like that. That's fun. Have you started writing
Yeah,
then?
already a little bit, but I'm not sure it's right.
Okay.
So I will show to you.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely. We can look at that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So it's on the computer.
We need to use a computer?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to move over there? I'll just grab this and take it with us if that works. You can sit there. I'll sit to the side if you want. There we go. So is the article in your book?
No, it's the actual.
Oh.
Yeah, this one's our teacher's requirement.
Oh, perfect. Do you mind if I look at that?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Sounds good. So do you have a partner on this?
Yeah, but we just talk a little bit about this one because he said he don't really good at this one.
Okay.
So yeah, we just talk a little bit.
So you've met already?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So, do you want to explain to me, maybe in your own words, what the article was about?
Like, it's about he talked about the technology is on the planet, and like he uses a lot of examples to support his opinions in his argument, and like also like some personal experience, like his friends' experience, like professional people.
Okay, very cool. That sounds interesting. So who is the author of that?
It's Carl.
Carl?
Yeah,
Okay.
Carl, yeah.
Oh, Nicholas Carr?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you decided to do this one and not the violence
Yeah,
one? Okay.
we decided this one.
Very cool. So this is what you have started then?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know how to write the body.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think I wrote a lot of examples, just talk about the examples.
So you've kind of like summarized the article a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think what we need to focus on a lot, I'm sure you might have all this stuff ready, but really like on the purpose, the audience, the author, which would be like his credentials, the genre, and context. So since that's kind of what he wants you to focus on, that'd be like in the body of the article. So, or the body of your paper. So if in the middle or if at the beginning you want to summarize, that'd be awesome. So he kind of gets an idea of your understanding. But then I would go into like analyzing those certain aspects of the article. Did you want to go ahead and read this out loud and then we can talk about it? Okay. What did you want me to focus on mainly as you're reading it? Is there anything that you aren't super comfortable with that you want to focus on?
Is
What?
maybe I can start.
Okay, well, what do you want me to focus on, though, as you're reading on things that maybe we can work on?
Like the structure and the meaning of this paragraph is, I'm not sure it's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, well, let's look at it.
This article is that talk about the influence of the internet. The author doesn't really give us a clear answer on that internet good or bad due to the controversial nature of the site he presents long examples to convey his point and convince the reader that his argument is valid. He discussed two ways of the influence of internet. He compares now we use technology with technology we used before. The author will show how the internet influence for everyone. In his article, is Google stupid? Carl organized many strategies to argue his opinions. You can feel sincerely read this article.
Okay, that sounds really good. I would say with a paper like this, I would start with which article you're talking about, because it's not until here that we know what article. So instead of saying this article, I would start at the very beginning and say, Nicholas Carr's article, Is Google Making Us Stupid?, talks about the influence of the internet. So instead of saying this article talks about the influence, I would start with that so that it shows, so that I know and the reader knows who you're talking about. So if you want to make that change now, you can do that. You have to go up here to View and then Edit Document so you can make changes. You don't have to erase that part. I would just change this part up here.
Just change here.
Yep, so instead of saying this article, then you would need to change that.
It's Carl's article.
And when you first talk about an author, you say their first and their last name. So it's right here. If you want to spell that.
So I need to type the whole name.
Yep. Yep, it's fine. It just has the underline for some reason. And then you would say his article, and then you would have to say, Is Google Making Us Stupid? You have to say that after the article. Yep, you have to do quotes around the title, yep. And just like here, so whenever you have a title, you capitalize the words in the title. So you capitalize words in a title. make sure you have. So I would read this to make sure, because it's making us stupid instead of make us stupid. So then we're gonna have to change that rest of that sentence a little bit. So you have Nicholas Carr's article, "Is Google making us stupid?" So do you think you need to say, "Is that still?" No. And you say, "Talk about it." Yep, I think you have it right. What you were going to do. Yep, talks about the influence of the internet. And what is the internet influencing? When you say the influence of the internet.
Influence
When you say the influence of the internet, what is it influencing?
is he talked about the Google is like we can't read a long article, which is
Okay, so it's influencing like people and like their focus and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would make that clear after internet and say like who it's influencing or what it's influencing.
For everyone.
What?
For everyone.
Instead of saying for everyone, it'd be on everyone. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, and then just in the rest of the article, I know you said her argument at one point, so I would make sure that you change that to his argument. Okay, and then we had a couple of sentences that aren't complete sentences, they're fragments. So when you say due to the controversial nature of this article, so that's not a full sentence. So where do you think you could combine the sentences? Actually, that one wouldn't be it.
It's in the behind.
Yep. So what about the one right in front of it? No, it's still this right here, but we can't combine it with that sentence because that's a full sentence. This one isn't. So the one right in front of it, we would combine it with. So how would you combine those sentences, do you think?
So I need to combine these two sentences.
Oh,
No?
yeah. Actually, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
So how would you do that?
We just do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Nope, that is perfect. Yep. So then here we could probably take out this since we already know who the author is. And then do you think you could take this out also? I would leave the first part. I would just take out the, yep. Okay, perfect. And then is this your thesis statement right here? Okay. Usually in a scholarly article or essay, you're not going to use we or I. So can you think of a way to change that?
The audience.
Yeah, that'd be really good. So when you say nope, it would just be the audience. Yep. The audience can feel the same when we read this article or when what? When they. Yep. Yep. So when you say they can feel the same, why do you think that's a good thesis statement?
Because
So the author's cause?
Yeah.
Okay. So usually when you have a thesis, that's going to talk about your entire paper. So like your purpose, kind of why you're writing. So do you think that that covers your entire paper?
I think just
So what is your paper's, what are you trying to accomplish while writing this paper?
actually I want to discuss the author used a lot of example to support his opinion.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. But is that what your professor wants you to do?
So this one is my purpose.
Like what does your professor want you to do for your paper?
Like she wants to analyze this articles.
Using these different things, yeah.
So when you talk about the purpose,
Yeah.
first, I already talk about the author's purpose.
Where do you talk about that at?
I just talk about what he wrote.
So instead of giving a summary, we want to analyze it a little more, like give your opinion kind of on it. Maybe if we read over the rest of your paper, that will help us think of a good thesis statement. You want to try that? Okay. So if you want to start with the next paragraph.
Carl is very clear to us what he wants to argue. At the beginning of this article, he talks about how the internet Carl uses personal examples and his friends' experience to support his point. And to aid in his credibility. He compared past and present that people use. Internet is very different. Carl said after he used internet, the difference that used to come naturally has become a struggle. In his own experience, he shows what happened when he uses internet. It can connect to the audience. People will think about it. They think about also that's reasons. Internet covers he also points out blogs on students. If people have seen film with him, Carl uses a series of examples to convince the reader that his theory is right. The audience will have to think through with him when they read these examples. Maybe you will say that this evidence is not
Authoritative. Yeah.
because this evidence are personal opinion. The internet's part of this article, Carl used a lot of professional people's statement.
Okay, if you want to keep going, we can come back and talk about it a little bit.
Carl used factor University College London State that not people just give a lot of things. They carried along article this example of authority evidence which can make argument more convinced. Besides, Carl also used the several different professional people's opinion to support his argument, such as the statement of psychologist and sociologist Daniel Bell and computer scientist. And those examples are efficient to convince people. In Carl's article, Carl uses a lot of other people's opinions. Maybe
What?
Like, I don't finish the high notes as much.
You don't finish what?
Yeah, I don't finish.
Oh, that paragraph?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. What about the next paragraph?
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's go back to that first paragraph. So I think you do a really good job of summarizing what the author is doing and like you breaking it up into his opinion and then to other people's opinion. I just think you need to do some more analyzing maybe. So instead of just saying what he does, you need to say why that's effective maybe. So when he asks for like the purpose or the audience. So when you say it can connect to the audience, so why can it connect to the audience or how does it connect to the audience?
Like, because he talk about a lot of people can read long article. Actually, the fact is true. He talk about
Okay.
it's true that like we can read
Okay.
long article. We just
Okay.
ignore others.
So here you say, Carr said after he used the internet, the deep reading that used to come naturally has become a struggle. In his own experience, he showed us what happened when he uses internet. It can connect to the audience. So why does that connect to the audience? Like what makes that connect to the audience?
Because people have some feelings.
Okay, so they have like similar experiences. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what I would put. I would make that clear. So it can connect to the audience because you just need an I before the M. Just S-I-M. Perfect, yeah. And then here, I don't think you need these sentences. So that's like you, like, kind of having like dialogue, kind of. So I would take those out for like a scholarly essay. So, and then here you say, in the next paragraph, he also point some bloggers' own experience.
Yeah.
These people have same feeling with him. So why do they have the same feeling with him?
Because they also talk about the internet in affect their lives.
Okay, so if you're a blogger, you want people to read your articles, don't you? Or your blog posts? So if somebody can't read your blog post, that's going to affect you, isn't it? Yeah, so I would say that's why they kind of relate to Carr, because they want people to read their blog posts, but if people can't read very long, they're not going to stay attentive.
So I need to talk about
Yep. So somehow you need to connect how they're connected. Yep.
Kelly?
because I can't. Because this book was
be the bloggers who can't be the people reading the blog.
No, it's these people bloggers. Bloggers say.
The bloggers are the ones who write blogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bloggers cannot read long article.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think you need to put that. I think your professor will know that they're the ones who write. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you say Carr uses a series of examples to convince the reader that his feeling is right. The audience will have the same feeling with him when they read these examples. So why will the audience have the same feeling?
Maybe I will talk about it.
Okay, I just...
So we need to continue to talk about
Yep.
this.
Yep. So you say that the audience will have the same feeling,
Yeah.
but I don't know why they will.
Examples to show us, so to show the audience, so the audience can.
So what do the examples do for the audience?
Like it's to show the audience see how, like a lot of people have this experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say something that when they read these examples, because it shows that it's a universal problem, or that a lot of people have this issue. Yeah. The audience can't be universal. The problem could be universal. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. The only thing that I would say is you say the problem are, but a problem is singular. Yep. And then in the next sentence you say maybe you, and the same way as we and I, we don't want to use you in a paper, so And then, so this sentence right here, because this evidence our personal opinion, do you think that's a full sentence? No. So where would we combine this?
So, yeah, basically,
Yeah.
So, Tom was saying, this is just like
Okay. So your appointment is basically up because it's after our time. I know there's still a lot. Do you think if we kind of talked about things that you could work on, that you could come back? Or do you just want to get some ideas on where to go from here?
So if we can still talk.
What?
Like we can continue to talk about it.
Well, if you want to work on it and then maybe come back and get some more help, does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, especially since you only have about a page anyway, since you need to add quite a bit. What I would say to focus on is kind of what we did in that last paragraph where you expanded on your ideas, like saying why or how, instead of just saying the author did this, why did he do that, and how was it? I would really focus on these ideas because that's what your professor really wants you to do, is focusing on those main ideas. So when you're going through, even if you broke them down in paragraphs, like the purpose, and then have that all in one paragraph, the genre all in one paragraph, like that, so then you can keep them organized. And then I would focus on changing your thesis statement also. Just making it might be helpful if you just finish your whole paper and then go back and think about what would be a good thesis statement. So in your thesis statement, you want to kind of preview what you're going to be talking about in the rest of your paper.
So can I just talk about examples? No. Maybe I talk about.
Because you already, I wouldn't say that the examples in the thesis statement. You could say that, but you need to expand as to why, or because your thesis statement shouldn't be what he does; it should be what you're doing. So it should be like what you're going to talk about in your paper. And then just for like grammar-wise, with a lot of the verb choices, maybe we can look at a couple here so that you know what I'm talking about. If you want to go back up to that last paragraph. So here in this first paragraph, you say, Carr is very clear. Tell us what we want to argue. So where do you think the verb is in that sentence? Yeah.
okay, so no verb tense, but something I can say is this isn't really.
So he compare the past and the present.
It's like a weird way to put something. It's like put it right here. So
Yep.
instead, what you could just up here say like, like Albert Einstein.
Yep. So just with that thing. So Carr said, but so you're saying compares and tells like it's in the present, but then when you say Carr said, that's in the past. So how would you change that to make it present tense? Says. So you do that. Yep. After he used the internet? Yep. Yep. So I would just go through your whole paper, and even after you're all done, it might be easier if you just find those verbs, because I think once you read them, you know how you're supposed to change them. So I would go through and really focus on that. Yeah. Is there any other questions that you have before?
I'm not going to continue to
How to expand?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have any specific examples, like here when you talk about those statements? Do you have those specific statements?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would use those, and instead of saying he uses statements, I would pick out a statement, talk about, and then say, you could even cite the statement, and then expand on that, how does that affect these ideas?
So I don't have to just. So I can use these examples to talk about this.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, because with every example you use, you need to analyze it and say, like, what's the purpose of that example? How does it affect the audience? The context behind it. So that's what you should be doing. So really, I think you could expand a lot of this, and that will give you a lot more information to talk about. Yep, and then, so, because you have a lot of scientists mentioned there.
Yeah.
So I would use some of those specific examples and say, this example said, and then you say the example, and then talk about how it's affecting the reader. Yep. Yeah, that might be helpful to expand it. And then I would do what he says and go to the list of, have you read that yet in your book? So that might be helpful also. Okay, so yeah, I would go through these questions will really help you to expand. So what this one is especially like, what's the writer's motivation? So why does he write this? Like, what is he trying to accomplish from writing this article? Is he trying to convince people that we need to be better readers? What is he trying to accomplish by writing that?
Actually, he don't give a really sure answer. He just talk about the influences for everyone. It's good.
It's good.
Or bad. He don't say it's good or bad.
So if he doesn't say it, would that be implicitly stated then? Like one of the questions is the thesis implicit or explicit? So implicit would mean he doesn't say it, but when you're reading it, do you get the idea that that's bad?
Yeah, he says it's bad, but he also talk about it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say, I would use that and say implicitly he says something. So how does the author use these sources? Is he using it to build credibility, to corroborate findings, to dispute ideas, or discount other arguments? So those are the questions that when you use a source or from the article and you cite it, then those are the questions you want to ask. And then say, he uses this, like when he uses these, I would say that's to corroborate findings because they have the same ideas that he does. Yep, so these will definitely help you to expand. So I would definitely use those because your professor is really adamant about using those ideas, and those are all going to be found in here. Yep, so the most important thing I would say is just instead of summarizing it, to make sure that you use your own analyzing and own opinions to say like why he's doing those things. Yeah, do you have time? I know it's due at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Do you have time before that to come back with your paper? Okay, is there a day that works for you maybe? I work tomorrow and Wednesday. I work tomorrow night and then Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday afternoon? Okay, I can help you make an appointment if you want, or if you're not sure, you can call and make an appointment if that works for you. Okay, sounds good. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I hope you understand it a little. Yeah, no problem.